Life in Bunker. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words. Let's read. You've been elected as the new Bunker Warden. Now you must take control over a group of fellow bunker residents. I love that word, bunker. And try to make them last until the surface becomes habitable. Yes, guys, there's been a war. Donald Trump must have got in power, pressed the fucking button, and then we all went boom. Sorry if you're a Trump. If you're Mac, don't get political. Don't fucking get political now. So life in Bunker, guys, you are in charge of this bunker complex. There's been a war, so you can't go out, and the door is locked for 50 cycles. We're not talking about 50 menstruation cycles either, guys. No. We are talking about 50 cycles. Now, how long's a cycle? It's so there you go. Top information again there from Worthabuy. Now what you have to do is you have to manage this bunker, because without you you're gonna die. You're all gonna die. You're all gonna die. Actually, to be honest, with you, you're all gonna die. So yeah. Anyway, this is how it kind of works. Every person has to work in the bunker essentially, but they can't all do the same job. And you don't have that choice with each person. It's total RNG as to what skills they're given when they're born. There is a way to manipulate this with genetic engineering if you have the research points, which I'll come to later on. But essentially at the beginning of the game you just don't have that, so it's total RNG. When new babies are born as well, if you haven't, like I said, genetically researched it, it's again RNG as to what skills they will be born with, and this can have a massive impact on how the bunker runs. But to house all the people you need to excavate anyway. The bigger the area you excavate by mining, the more oxygen you're going to need. Yeah, that's how I ruined my first game. I forgot about oxygen. So you build air purifiers that fill up the rooms with oxygen. You need to give them beds. You need to give them food. So you need to have farms. You need to have a fish farm and a vegetable rack, and you need to assign people work on these as farmers. You need to build a kitchen and tables. You need to assign somebody as a cook who can then cook the ingredients. You need to keep excavating because you need toilets. You need shower units, which means you need water and electricity. So you need to build more generators for that. You're also going to create waste, so you need to have a waste disposal. And when that becomes full, people will just start vomiting all over the floor and shitting everywhere. It's life. It's life, guys. It's a hard life in the bunker. People need exercise, so you've got to build them exercise. People get depressed. Wouldn't you get depressed sitting in the same four walls every fucking day, reviewing fucking games, just sitting looking at a PC, playing the new game, then reviewing it, then after you've reviewed it, make a video of that. It takes hours, and then you gotta do it all again. You never get out. You never get outside. You just don't know what it's like outside. Can you breathe outside the people? So people get depressed, so you've got to actually give them stuff to do. So you can give them a dance machine. Yeah, because that doesn't get you depressed. Yeah. And there's other things as well. Now you may have noticed, can I just tangent off? You may have noticed that this looks like a pile of pig's vomit. I saw a pig with no head this morning in the back of a lorry, and its neck bone was sticking right. It was a delivery to a butcher. It looks like it's not very nice looking, is it? I mean, it looks like shit, let's be honest. But that doesn't mean it is shit, because it's not. It's a fun game. I'm enjoying the game. It has got some bugs. It isn't in early access, which is another plus. It's actually finished. It needs work. Mr. Developer, don't go anywhere. Finish it. It needs work. So anyway, back to the game. To excavate, you have to mine. You will come across different types of ore out there that you need to research to get better at mining, to get through it. Now, to research, you build a research lab and you assign somebody as a researcher, scientist essentially, and they will come up with research points which you can spend in the menu, the UI, and unlock things and boost things. You can boost power, boost your food production. You can boost pretty much everything, to be honest, it's a really nice touch, that the research that they've got in this game. It unlocks new machines as well to make life that little bit easier. Now, a cool thing about this game is that the people have life cycles, very short ones, to be honest. They start off as children, which are just fucking useless. They just run around the place. distracting people. Then they become of age and they can then be put to slave labor. They can then work. And as they work, they become useful. This is the useful part. Now, once they've grown out of that, they become old. And we don't like old people in this game. We want them dead. So I think this is why they've made doors. You can build a death chamber. And what you do is when an old person goes into the death chamber, you lock the in. And they die quicker in there than they would of natural causes. So that's a top tip there. Because old people are useless in this game. They just take up oxygen and food. We don't want that. Now, the disappointing thing is you do not bend people over and give it to them to make children. I'll cut that bit out. I'll do that. The disappointing thing in this game is that you don't have any kind of sex with cut that bit out. Cut that all. To get new people in this game, you have an incubator. And you just go to the incubator and you can have 3 children at once. You click on 3 random children and they'll incubate themselves over time and then they'll come out as little babies. Now you can put research points in there to genetically engineer them to come out as fucking trained engineers if you want, which is a nice touch again. Again, research cures everything. I don't know why I pressed that there. So let's get back to the logistics of this game. Everything needs buildings and stuff. Like, for example, it's no good just building a food rack and a cooker. You then need a fridge to put the surplus stuff in. You need tables and chairs for people to sit down and eat. You need beds, you need bunk beds, you need power, you need water, you need to put the cables and pipes in by going into this X-ray mode that was first seen. Well, the first time I saw it was in that Prison Architect game. And it's very similar to that. You have to connect everything up. Now, it all sounds all tutti-frutti, but there are chavs in this game in the form of mole men, and these work. It's basically the same as life on the surface, really. In our day, we have these people who don't work; they just live in the dirt, like chavs. And what they will do, they will come up and beat the out of old people, like chavs do. So you have to be careful, guys. When you knock into a new area, you watch out, because under the floorboards, chavs, they come up underneath and they pop out and go bleh, and they start killing everybody, which is fine if you want to kill old people. Because another top tip, when the old people are in the room that you want them to die in, make sure there's no floorboards in there so the chavs can come in and get them. As soon as a chav appears, everybody goes to beat them up, which is a brilliant thing in the game. They're called mole men, not chavs. And so there is that danger that you could get your base overrun with mole men. I've lost a couple of bases to mole men, but that was because I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm still trying to balance the right amount of food production, but my bunker always becomes covered in vomit and shit after about 2 or 3 hours play. Another good thing about this game is you can make a lift, an elevator, and go down to another floor below you and start again down there as well. So you can have tiers, you can have up to 4 floors in this game, which is a really nice touch. I like it, guys. The game itself as a whole is a nice little game to play. It's $11.99, but there's a few things I don't like about the game. The life cycle's too short. It should be longer. There's nothing for the children and the old people to do. That should have been implemented into the game as part of the gameplay. It's just kind of redundant people running around doing nothing. There should have been a school, a learning centre and stuff like that, or something for the old people. The mole men should be able to smash through walls. The AI should be a lot better. It's kind of like a good idea, but the execution's not brilliant of this. It needs more. It's not a bad game. Whatever you take from this, don't take that this is a bad game, because it just isn't. It's a fun game that you're going to enjoy playing if you're into this kind of sim management. I quite am into this kind of stuff, and you know, I have played it for a good few hours. I did a stream on it, and you know, I did enjoy my time in it, but I was always left wanting. I was always kind of left thinking, oh, you know, this should have been done a bit better. The research is a bit too easy. So it's kind of it's a halfway house thing, this game. It really is. It's not a definite thumb up or a definite thumb down. It's kind of sits in the middle. It's just going to cross the line with a thumb up because I actually like this genre. I like sim management, but it comes with a word of warning, really. It's fun, but you'll be probably left wanting, which is a bit of a shame.